Welcome to Finance Deep Dive. Building wealth, it seems so complicated, right? Full of secrets and risks. But what if I told you it's actually way simpler than you think? Today, we're going to break it down to its three fundamental pillars. And that brings us to the big question, really. What if the secret to wealth isn't about what you do, but how you think? Seriously, this isn't about chasing hot stock tips. It's about a total mental shift. And stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why your mindset is your single greatest asset. So that leads us right into our very first pillar, the wealth mindset. Forget about budgets, forget about investments for just a second. Before any of that, it all starts right here, in your head. This is the foundation. Everything else gets built on top of this. And the cornerstone of this mindset, it's a concept called delayed gratification. It sounds fancy, but all it means is resisting something good now so you can get something even better later. Think about it. That's the whole reason you invest money today, right? For a much, much bigger payoff down the road. Okay, here's a super simple, practical way to put this into practice. It's a great little rule of thumb. If you can't buy it twice, don't buy it. So let's say you're eyeing that new $500 PS5. If you don't have $1,000 in the bank, meaning you can't mentally afford to buy it twice over, you can't truly afford it once. Simple as that. And this rule really helps highlight the massive difference between looking rich and actually being wealthy. On one side, you've got the 30K millionaire. They've got the visible luxury, the high car payments, they look the part. But on the other side, you have the actual millionaire. Their wealth is invisible. It's in assets, not stuff. One lives for today, the other is building for tomorrow. There's a great quote from the book The Millionaire Next Door that just nails this idea. It says, if your motive is to make money, to spend money on the good life, you're never going to make it. And that's the whole point, right? If your money's only purpose is to fund today's lifestyle, you're stuck on a treadmill. Real wealth comes from prioritizing that future security over today's wants. And look, this is so important to remember. Your journey is unique. It's so easy to see a friend's new car or some influencer's insane vacation on social media and feel like you're falling behind. But you're not. Social media is just a highlight reel. Comparing yourself is the fastest way to kill your financial progress. You gotta focus on your own path. So you see how the mindset is the absolute foundation for everything else. And hey, if you're finding this helpful so far, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. It really does motivate us to keep posting more videos just like this. All right, so we've got the mindset down. Now let's move from the why to the how. This brings us to pillar 2, your financial game plan. This is where we turn that strong mindset into concrete wealth-building actions. And honestly, it boils down to just 3 key numbers you need to track. That's it. Your expenses, your savings rate, and your net worth. If you can consistently, month after month, just focus on improving these 3 things, you are mathematically guaranteed to build wealth. It's just inevitable. Here's a thought that really puts things into perspective. Financing a depreciating asset is like paying interest on an ice cream cone while it melts. I mean, wow, you're literally paying money to lose money. Think about borrowing for a new car or furniture. It's a double whammy. You're paying interest on something that's worth less every single day. Okay, but this leads to the question that everybody asks, right? So how do you build your first nest egg when you're literally starting from scratch? It feels impossible, like you're trying to push a giant boulder uphill. But the answer to how you build that initial momentum, it might not be what you think. Here it is. The first $100,000 is the absolute hardest. And here's the kicker. At this stage, your success has almost nothing to do with finding some amazing high-return investment. Nope. It's almost entirely about one thing, how aggressively you can save. Just look at this. To get to that first 100K, your savings are doing all the heavy lifting. We're talking like 77% of it. The investment returns, yeah, they're there, but they're just a tiny little slice of the pie at this point. It's all on you. And that's why those early habits are so critical. In the beginning, your savings have to do the hard work of overcoming the initial friction of compounding. Every single dollar you save now is like a little soldier you're sending out to work for your future self. Okay, so you've got the mindset, you've got the game plan. Now it's time for pillar 3, the long-term philosophy. And we're going to call this the boring path to riches, which, ironically, is the most exciting path of all. I absolutely love this analogy. Successful long-term investing is like planting a tree. You don't dig it up every day to check the roots. You plant it, water it, and let it grow. It's perfect, right? Building wealth isn't about frantic, day-to-day activity. It's about patience. You plant the seed, you trust a process, and you don't mess with it. You just let it grow. So, what does that look like in practice? It's ridiculously simple. You invest in simple, diversified index funds, you continuously contribute to them over time, and then, and this is the hardest part for most people, you leave it alone. Seriously, the best investors are the ones who basically forget their passwords. Still think boring can't win? How about this number, 92%? That is the percentage of professional, highly paid fund managers who failed to beat a simple S&P 500 index fund over 15 years. The average, boring strategy wins. It just does. But I know what you're thinking. We all have this fear. What if I invest right at the top of the market? What if it's overvalued? Well, guess what? People were saying that exact same thing back in 2012. They were convinced the market was overpriced, and they missed out on one of the biggest bull runs in history. And history shows us that time is the ultimate risk reducer. Look, if you're investing for just 5 years, yeah, you might hit a negative period. It happens. 10 years, fewer negative periods. 15, very, very few. But once you get to a 20-plus year time frame, there has never been a period in the US stock market where you would have lost money. Time is your greatest ally. All right, so let's bring it all home. We've covered the 3 pillars, right? It starts with a disciplined mindset. Then you build a practical game plan on top of that. And finally, you stick to a patient, boring philosophy for the long haul. And this brings us right back to that question from the beginning of the video. It turns out the secret to wealth really isn't about what you do. It's about how you think. That mindset is the key that unlocks absolutely everything else. You know, every single financial decision you make, big or small, is like writing a sentence in your life story. And the best part, you're the one holding the pen. So the only real question left is, what's the next chapter going to be? Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked this breakdown and you want to see more content like it, please don't forget to subscribe. It genuinely motivates us to keep posting. We'll see you in the next one.